Greetings, my beautiful lovelies, it's Emmy. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be making a biscuit recipe that I found from this cookbook. And this is called Not Your Mother's Cookbook, and it was very kindly sent to me by two beautiful lovelies, both Jeffrey and Ken. Both sent me this book. Thank you guys so much for thinking of me and sending me this amazing book that is just absolutely right up my alley. Let me show you what's inside. As you can see, there are a lot of ideas brewing. Unusual recipes for the adventurous cook. Yes! It's written by Marina and John Bear. There's so many great recipes in here. Let me show you. Some of them that I have bookmarked include Cajun Joe's trash can turkey, meat strapped to the engine of your car, eggs cooked for 12 hours in Turkish coffee and oil. Well, I can't even imagine what that's going to taste like. So I'll have to make that one. Potato chocolate cake. Yep. So this is the recipe that I'm going to be making today, and it's hand measured biscuits. And it's super simple. It's just making biscuits using your hands. No measuring cups, nothing, just your fingers and your hands. We're going to be mixing it with our hands. We're going to be measuring with our hands. And I want to know if the biscuits will taste any good if I'm just using my hands to measure it. Let's go ahead and try this. It sounds super simple and super easy. And if this is all I need to make biscuits, then maybe I'll make them more often, is what I'm thinking. So let's go ahead and tackle this recipe. I've got myself a nice little wooden bowl here. Hopefully this will be big enough to mix everything. I think it will be. So the first ingredient we need is flour, and it says to cup your hand and take as much flour as your hand will hold. I like storing my flour in bins like this with a little lid. I found these really inexpensively at IKEA because I had a problem with pantry moths. Have you ever had pantry moths? It makes you kind of hyper anxious because you don't know what they're eating. Pantry moths are moths that like to eat grains, anything that has any kind of carbohydrate. So they love pasta, they love cereal, they love flour. So you can get them from the supermarket, you can have eggs on your packaging or whatever, but I end up getting them in my pantry. So they just get into all the nooks and crannies. I found some in my raisins. So then I started putting all of my dry goods into containers. So anything that has a cardboard box, I was putting them into glass jars, including my flour. But I've really liked storing my flour like this because it seals it up from critters, but it's also really easy to scoop and get into. So to get rid of them, what I end up using are pheromone traps. So these traps are just cardboard boxes that release a pheromone moths are attracted to, and they get kind of stuck in there because there's a little sticky sided thing, and that's what I use to finally get rid of them. But yeah, real problem. It's gross because they have little larvae that look kind of like maggots, so that's really disconcerting when you open your container of raisins and there you have, you know, larvae in there. You're like, well, I didn't really think I was going to have that with my snack today. All right, back to making biscuits. So I've just got all-purpose flour here. I love King Arthur flour, so when it was on sale during the holidays, I bought a few bags of it. So that's what I've got here, just unbleached all-purpose flour. Cut my hand and one handful, it said. That's going to be a pretty small amount of biscuits, but 1 scoop of flour. Dip your thumb and 4 fingers into the baking powder. So 4 fingers. And since my baking powder container isn't large enough for my hands, I'm going to put it into a bowl, and I'm going to do 4 fingers and my thumb. Pinch baking powder. Next, I'm going to use 3 fingers and my thumb for the salt. Add that to there. 2 fingers and my thumb to get the sugar. So great. I love this. Super simple, right? Okay, now I'm supposed to take my index finger and dip it into shortening to the first knuckle. All right, and then mix the above mixture with your hands, of course. So working the shortening into the flour, baking powder, salt, and sugar. I love this. It should be noted that you should have impeccably clean hands while making hand measured biscuits. Add enough milk so the mix holds together. Shape into 1, 2, 3, or 4 biscuits. So I happen to have some buttermilk, so I'm going to make these into buttermilk biscuits, but you can use sweet milk or regular milk if you like. So add some milk. I think this is just going to make like 1 biscuit. So I watched a couple YouTube videos. I'll put the links to those videos in the description. And kind of similar way of making biscuits by using your hands, but the bowl was lined with flour, lots of flour. You didn't use all of it, and then you use the milk to kind of collect it into a dough. So this recipe is a little bit different, but I'm kind of using some of those same techniques. So this isn't really holding together quite yet, so I'll add a little bit more. I'm gonna make another batch, and that way I'll have more than one biscuit to eat, right? So I'm gonna set some of this dough aside and continue making more biscuit. 1 scoop of flour, 4 pinch of baking powder, 3 fingers of salt, 2 fingers of sugar, 1 knuckle of shortening. I'm gonna put this dough back in, and now I'm gonna add more buttermilk. Okay. Alrighty, so now I've got my cast iron skillet. I think this is gonna be pretty big for the amount of dough that I've got, but this is the smallest skillet that I've got. So we're just gonna roll with it. So now I've got some shortening, and I'm going to grease the bottom of the pan here so the biscuits don't stick. And my oven has been preheated to 450 degrees, so nice and hot. So we are all lubed up here, and now I'm gonna pinch off some biscuit mix. Shape these into biscuits. Handle them really gently. Pop them in there, use my knuckles to kind of press them down a bit. I might actually get more biscuits than I imagined. Maybe 3 or 4. Press them down with my knuckles a little bit. Alrighty, there they are, 4 little tiny biscuits. Now I'm gonna pop these into a 450 degree oven for about 15 minutes or until they're nice and golden. So far they look good, but I really hope this recipe works out. Okay, see you in a bit. Yay! Here we have them. Aren't they gorgeous? Tiny little biscuits. So next time I'd probably, to fill up this skillet, I would make a quadruple batch or 4 handfuls. My hands are pretty small, so it's not so surprising, but look how beautiful they are. Let me show you what they look like on the bottom. Nice and golden. And one of the tips I saw in one of the videos I saw on YouTube is to kind of lift them up off the pan a little bit so they can breathe and so they don't steam up and kind of soften. But these look great. I'm gonna grab this beautiful biscuit right here. Look at that, it's so perfect. I'm gonna crack this open. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. Look at that. Beautifully cooked on the inside. And now I'm gonna take some butter, slather that with some butter. This is so wonderful. I've never made bread so quickly before. So great. Honey, this is honey from my own hives. If you didn't know already, I am a beekeeper. This will be my 4th season coming into spring. Very rewarding, fun, and challenging hobby. But yeah, in case you want to see me wrestle with a bunch of flying bees, you can definitely check out my other channel. I'm gonna drizzle a honey on this one. I'm gonna have this one just plain. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. So good. Airy, light, fluffy. There's nothing better than freshly baked bread. It's just so warm and comforting. The textures in this bread are wonderful. The outside has not quite a crust, but a little bit of a bite for your teeth to kind of bite into. But the inside is fluffy and light and warm and soaked in butter. So good. And the proportions worked out beautifully between the shortening, the leavening, the bit of sugar and salt in there. So great. I'm definitely inspired to make biscuits now. All the time. It's so easy and fast. All right, let's try some with honey. Did you hear that? So the bottom of my biscuit got a little bit more golden than I expected. But did you hear that texture? It's lovely. It's even more crisp than the top. And then you still have that fluffy interior that's warm and now soaked with honey and butter. Delicious. So delicious. This would be amazing with strawberry freezer jam, but we've already polished off my entire supply. I think even before fall, we had already finished. I made, I think, 10 jars this year, completely gone. So next year I'm gonna make more. I did give away quite a bit, but strawberry freezer jam is my favorite jam. I have a video for that as well, and I'll put it in the description in case you're curious, but oh my goodness, these are good. So biscuits have always reminded me of my mom, not because she made them, but because once a week when I was a child, my dad would have to work late. So my mom would take me to KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and we'd get a 2-piece meal and share it. And she would always eat the biscuit because I never liked the biscuits. I just never liked them. It's like, why? I just don't like the biscuit. Give me the drumstick. And so I never really ate biscuits much, but now I see the light. So biscuits, I'm learning, you must have them when they're right out of the oven and they're nice and toasty and warm. As they sit out, they lose that really beautiful contrast of textures of the warm, fluffy inside with that slight kind of crispness from the top and the bottom. And honey, the gift of flowers and the gift of hard work of honeybees. What a wonderful gift. Not all honeys are created equal, by the way. If you've watched any of my honey tasting videos, you know that. And I've really come to appreciate that since I've been raising honeybees. Alrighty, so there you have it, homemade biscuits with no measuring equipment whatsoever, just the fingers on one hand. Totally great, incredible, delicious, and big thanks to Jeffrey and to Ken for sending me this book and for inspiring this recipe. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like this video and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Biscuit time, biscuit time, biscuit, biscuit, biscuit time.